Let's just jump right into this explainer because today we're looking at what honestly might be the single most exciting hidden gem in the entire global wine world. We're heading over to Eastern Europe to explore a place where the economic backbone, cultural identity, and thousands of years of history are literally vines and grapes. I'm talking about Moldova. So let's start off with a bit of a trivia question to set the scale here. When you picture endless, rolling vineyards, your mind probably jumps straight to France, right? Or Italy, maybe California. But if we're talking about the absolute highest density of vineyards per capita on the planet, well, those famous regions actually take a backseat. The answer is Moldova. And to put that massive scale into perspective, this country actually has an underground wine city, Milești Mici, that houses a staggering 1.5 million bottles. It's basically the Fort Knox of fermented grape juice. We're talking miles of subterranean limestone tunnels. It actually holds the world record for the largest wine collection, which, gives you a pretty good idea of just how seriously they take their wine. Here's how we're going to unpack the hero's journey of this new old world wine powerhouse today. First, the hidden wine giant. 2, rebirth, wine of freedom. 3, Mother Nature's perfect terroir. 4, Moldova's native grape royalty. And 5, tasting the new old world. Section 1, the hidden wine giant, a royal pedigree. To really understand Moldova's roots, we have to look back, way back. We're not looking at some trendy new startup industry here. We're talking about a continuous, unbroken tradition of winemaking dating back an astonishing 5,000 years, all the way to 3000 BC. The Dacians, who are the ancestors of modern Moldovans, were out there cultivating vines millennia ago. But the real game changer, that happened in the 15th century under Stephen the Great. He elevated wine to a strategic state asset and created this role called the parnik. Think of the paharnik as a powerful royal wine cop. If your vineyard consistently produced bad wine, this official had the ultimate legal authority to literally come in and destroy it. Brutal? Yeah. But man, talk about highly effective 15th century quality control. All right, Section 2, Rebirth, Wine of Freedom. Fast forwarding to the late 20th century, we hit our hero's turning point. The Moldovan wine industry went through this traumatic but ultimately triumphant rebirth as they shifted away from their Soviet past. The crucial point here is this forced quantum leap. During the Soviet era, Moldova was basically treated as a massive factory for bulk wine. It was heavy, indistinct, and all about high volume. But after independence and facing tough geopolitical shifts like Russian embargoes, Moldova had to pivot just to survive. And out of that, they birthed what they proudly call the wine of freedom. To use a simple analogy, it was like shifting overnight from churning out fast food to aiming straight for Michelin star quality. They intensely focused on terroir, premiumization, and strict geographical indications. To compete globally, they couldn't just slap a new marketing label on the bottles. They had to completely overhaul the physical wineries themselves. They heavily invested in state-of-the-art precision technology. We're talking extreme hygiene protocols and pristine, temperature-controlled stainless steel tanks. They even brought in top-tier winemaking consultants straight from France to help revitalize the whole industry. They literally rebuilt their winemaking philosophy from the ground up. Moving to Section 3, Mother Nature's perfect terroir. Obviously, technology is only half the story, right? Let's look at the actual land, the real architecture of the Moldovan terroir that makes this whole qualitative revolution even possible. Moldova sits right in the absolute sweet spot for winemaking. It actually shares a latitude with legendary regions like Bordeaux and Burgundy. But its secret weapons are the Black Sea and the central Codru forests. Let's use a simple analogy. Think of the Black Sea as Mother Nature's giant thermostat. It acts like a thermal lung, keeping the vines from freezing during those harsh continental winters. Meanwhile, the dense Codru forests, they act as a natural air conditioning system. They moderate the winds and keep the vineyards nice and cool and humid during the hot summers. And then, right beneath the vines, lies the famous Chernozem. This is the legendary black earth of Eastern Europe, which is just unbelievably rich in organic matter and humus. It's the engine driving the vitality of the vineyards, but it doesn't work alone. To really grasp how great wine grows here, picture this very specific, simple analogy. Imagine a rich, fertile blanket spread out over a mineral sponge. So the dark Chernozem topsoil acts as that comforting blanket, constantly feeding the plant. But underneath, there's a deep base of limestone. And that limestone acts exactly like a giant sponge, holding onto crucial water reserves for the dry months. More importantly, this specific combination actually forces the vine roots to dig super deep into the earth. That struggle is what gives the resulting wines a distinct mineral focus, and what winemakers like to call a strong structural skeleton built on vibrant acidity.
Section 4, Moldova's native grape royalty. Now, while they definitely grow great Cabernet and Chardonnay, what the world is really paying attention to right now is their Autochthonous Trinity. Let's do some rapid-fire dating profiles for these native grapes, shall we?
First up is Fetească Albă, which beautifully translates to the white maiden. This white grape produces wines with this incredible floral and citrus delicacy, but wow, is it highly sensitive. Think of it exactly like a freshly bitten apple. If you leave it exposed to the air, it oxidizes and turns brown almost immediately. So to capture its pure magic, winemakers actually have to use high-tech, oxygen-free shields during production just to protect that delicate freshness. Next, we have the matriarch of the reds, Fetească Neagră, or the Black Queen. This grape is famous for an incredibly opulent, dense texture and deep, rich flavors of dark cherry and dried plum. The simplest analogy to understand the Black Queen: imagine those super elegant, velvety Merlots from Bordeaux's right bank. It just completely coats the palate with smooth tannins, all while maintaining this incredible elegance and huge aging potential. Then we have Rară Neagră, which translates to rare black. This one is really the delicate, ancestral essence of Moldova. If Fetească Neagră is a powerful queen, while Rară Neagră is the graceful dancer. It's known for its vibrant, penetrating acidity, bright red fruit, and this really distinct mineral finish, kind of like wet stone or graphite. In fact, top sommeliers often compare its delicate profile to highly revered grapes like Pinot Noir or even an Italian Sangiovese. Oh, and we absolutely cannot forget Viorica. This is a modern hybrid white grape that has just skyrocketed to become the trendy new star of Moldova. It produces these intensely aromatic wines that smell almost like a sweet muscat, full of exotic fruits and spices. But then you drink it, and surprise, it's vibrantly fresh and bone-dry. It's truly become the proud aromatic calling card of Moldova's modern post-independence identity.
All right, Section 5, Tasting the New Old World. So we've got the history, we've got the land, and we've got the grapes. Now let's explore how all these elements are masterfully brought together inside the winery to create bottles that literally command global respect.
One of their biggest secret weapons is the triple oak system they use for their premium wines. A simple analogy is to think of it exactly like building a luxury house. The local Moldovan oak from the Codru forests, that's your sturdy foundation and framing. It provides a strong tannic structure and mineral austerity. Then, the French oak is your elegant interior design, adding refined notes of vanilla and a little subtle smoke. Finally, the American oak acts as the flashy accent pieces, bringing just a touch of aromatic sweetness and spice to the final blend. And hey, the magic isn't just limited to wine. Moldova also boasts Divin, which is this highly regarded premium brandy. Just like cognac, it's double distilled in copper pots, but it establishes its own totally unique identity by being aged in that sturdy native Moldovan oak we literally just talked about. It's pretty much the distilled liquid expression of their terroir. But what's really beautiful is that right alongside all this state-of-the-art technology, they are fiercely honoring their deep past. In this brilliant blend of old and new, producers are actually reviving 8,000-year-old techniques. They're fermenting indigenous grapes in giant clay amphora to create these ultra-pure natural orange wines. By totally removing the influence of stainless steel or oak, they're just letting the raw fruit and the land completely speak for themselves. So when you pull all of this together, it's pretty easy to see why top sommeliers view Moldova as the ultimate new old world hidden gem. It's basically a perfect storm. You've got a 5,000-year-old pedigree, a completely modernized precision industry, unique native grape profiles like the Black Queen and the White Maiden, and wines built on limestone that have just extraordinary aging potential. We've just witnessed the incredible rebirth of this viticultural hero, stepping right out of the shadows of mass production to finally claim its rightful place on the world stage. The quality is simply undeniable, and honestly, the history is in every single glass. So the only question left for you is, what will your first Moldovan pour be? Will you go with the delicate White Maiden or perhaps the opulent Black Queen? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.